Stop. Here are 10 makeup tips I wish I knew earlier. Use an illuminator if you want that glowing from within look. This adds so much dimension to your face, and if you're taking photos and there's flash involved, game changer. Use your brow gel before you do your base so that you don't get any foundation or concealer in it and end up with product buildup. If you place your concealer in the right places, it can really lift your eye and act as a base for your eyeliner or your eyeshadow. Also, if you do your concealer first and then do your contour and your cream blush, it gives it a little bit of extra time to dry down, which will give you a little bit more coverage. Who can say no to that? Before you set your face, go back in with your concealer brush and just reblend out those creases if you really want that flawless under eye. Otherwise, you're just going to end up setting the creases, and we're not trying to do that. Use a cool toned contour if you want something more sculpting,
You gotta go.
or something more warm toned if you want more of a bronzy, sun-kissed look. I'm trying to look
Jump scare.
so you already know. If you want to bring a little bit more dew back after you've applied your powder blush, go back in with a cream blush and watch the magic happen. If your brows are low-key giving Sharpie, go back in with whatever's left on your concealer brush and just buff them out.
Oh my god!
See the difference already? Sharpie, snatched. The sharper your lip liner, the more precision you're gonna get. So make sure you sharpen that lip liner up. If you want to be dewy but not oily, cover your T-zone area and spray the sides of your face. Thank me later.
5 makeup mistakes that are ruining your makeup when your makeup is separating and peeling. This is most likely because you're using a water-based primer with a silicone foundation or a silicone primer with a water-based foundation. You want to make sure you're using silicone primers and silicone foundation. Water and silicone repel each other, so even if it looks good at first, throughout the day it'll start to peel, separate, and just slide off your face. If your concealers aren't giving you coverage, you might be rubbing the product around, and also tugging at your skin gives you premature aging. Instead, we're going to be nicer to our skin. We're going to lightly pat in our concealer, and it's going to give us so much more coverage. Look at the difference. Your brow products are not sticking to your face, or they do not last. Clean off your skincare before you do your makeup, and then fill in your brows before you apply any makeup. Your real lash is sticking out of your fake lash. It's probably because you're putting on your mascara, then putting the lash on right after. You want to use a lifting or curling mascara first. Curl your lashes, the corners will be lifted, and when you apply your false lash, perfection. Blush and your bronzer are patchy. You might be going straight in and then applying on your face. That's going to leave uneven amount of product on the brush. Instead, swirl it on the back of your hand and then apply it. Flawless.
If you're tired of your dark spots constantly showing through your makeup, then keep on watching. Step 1 is to apply the corrector all over your dark spots and then letting it sit for 3 to 5 minutes to get tacky before blending. To blend out my nose and for the rest of my face, I'll be going in with a small precision brush. Then you're going to gently blend out the corrector, starting at the edges before slowly inching towards the center where the spot is located. When done blending, with any setting powder, lightly set the corrector in place to keep it from budging when blending your liquid and cream products over top. From here, you can move forward with your normal makeup routine, but if you have very dark scarring, I recommend first going in with 1 layer of concealer or foundation, letting it sit before going in with your final or second layer of product. And the result every single time is a dark spot free, flawless base.
I finally figured out why our makeup isn't looking like the girls. That soft, matte, velvet looking bead. Don't stress if your makeup doesn't look like a filter in real life, because most of those makeup pictures are face tuned. But you didn't hear that from me. Before you start, your skin has to be glowing. I'm going in with a little extra moisturizer because I have very dry skin. Even if you have oily skin, you better make sure that skin is shining. Now, if you want your makeup to makeup, you gotta wear makeup. I know y'all heard that sound on here that's like that one little pump of foundation, that one swipe of concealer, it's not gonna make the cut. No lies were told. You don't have to do what I did and just pour foundation on your face, but you can build it up. That works best. And I know this foundation looks a little orange on me, but it oxidizes, so don't come for me. Now I'm letting my concealer sit while I cake the rest of my face. I'm doing my contour, then I'm going to do my blush. Now when it comes to concealer, I'm not going to let my girls fall short. Homegirl's makeup looks so perfect because she blends her concealer directly onto her lash line. She doesn't stop right here. She doesn't forget to look all the way up to the heavens so she can really get in there. No, she most definitely always gets a little smudge of concealer on her contacts because she gets down. She don't play. On the other side, I'm not gonna blend my concealer all the way up so I can just show y'all the huge difference it makes. On this side, I blended my concealer all the way up to my lash line. On the other side, I didn't. Tell me there's not a difference. This is a very necessary step, especially if your lower lash line has a little bit of darkness to it like mine. Pressed powders. If you know, you know. Immediately after you blend that concealer, you need to go in with a pressed powder. This has changed the game and has minimized my eye creases by 1,000. Honestly, the last steps of your makeup should revolve around pressed powders. I was struggling with my smile lines so bad, but now all I do is just tap some pressed powder into it. No more. They're gone. I also use a... No, I didn't. Y'all see it? Because I'm not trying to spill no more. I use a powder that is my same foundation shade, and this is a game changer. Now that you set your foundation, what about your cream contour? What about your cream blush? You gotta set your creams with their powder counterpart. I use a powder blush the same color to set my cream blush. Look at that. The blush was gone, but now she's back. I use a bronzer to set my contour. Now go look at yourself in the mirror and tell me that your makeup does not look like the girls. Bye, lovelies.
Makeup tips for beginners. First off, you need a good moisturizer to prep your skin. I personally use my Nivea cream because it's really thick. Like, it's a really thick moisturizer. It might not work for everyone's skin, but it just what works for me. I really like this. And if you have more to sensitive skin, I do recommend the Nivea Soft. The skin prep is really important, guys, if you're just starting off, because if your skin isn't that moisturized, it's gonna make your foundation look patchy or dry, and you don't want that. Even if you have oily skin, you're still gonna have to moisturize regardless. I have combo skin. I do get oily, but I still heavily moisturize because I know it's gonna lay my foundation so perfectly and like so smooth. Tip number 2, know your undertones. Believe it or not, that matters. Knowing your undertone really matters, because if you get a foundation that's too warm, you're gonna look yellow. If you get a foundation that's too cool, you're gonna look too white. But figure out if you're more warm tone, cool tone, or neutral, or even olive. It's just, that matters, because then your foundation isn't gonna match your neck or anything. It's gonna look weird, and it's gonna make you feel like, oh my god, I look too orange, or why do I look so gray? You know what I mean? So you have to know your undertones. Use brushes. Trust me, they're easier to clean, and it just applies better, in my opinion. They're gonna cancel me for that, for saying that. I think it applies better than sponges. I said what I said. Brushes gives you more coverage. A sponge usually absorbs all your product. Alright? And you do not have to buy expensive brushes either. My brushes are from Shein, or they're from e.l.f. And actually, I'm gonna do a separate video, like what brush to use for a specific step in your routine. Use brushes. Also, when you apply your foundation, apply it with a flat brush. Trust me, it makes a difference somehow. It spreads your foundation evenly on your face, especially if you are gonna be using a beauty blender. You do not just want to put some dots and then just blend it. No, because that's gonna blend so unevenly on your skin. So if you're still gonna use your beauty blender, get a flat brush. Even if you are using a brush to blend out your foundation, you still use a flat brush. I recommend it so much. Exactly like you're painting your face, and it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. Just apply it everywhere, and then you blend with a brush or a beauty blender. Last tip for today, if you want a cream blush, girl, make it. You do not have to go and buy one. You could just make it at home. If you have a concealer that you don't use anymore that's light, make it yourself, girly. Make your own cream blush. I made this with my Juvia's Place blush, you can tell, and some pink eyeshadow that I had. I just scraped it off, put it in a piece of paper, folded the piece of paper, and made like a little tunnel thing, whatever, so all the product could fall directly into this, and I would just mix it like that. And I kept doing that until I got the desired color that I wanted. It's the best, literally the best. Look, this is what it looks like. That's the color. DIY your blush. You do not have to go buy one when that's what it looks like. That's it for today. Let me know if I should make a part 2.
Makeup tips I wish I knew sooner. Setting sprays before your makeup so that your makeup can look smooth and flawless from the beginning to end. Blend in your foundation or your skin tints with your fingers so you can get the smoothest skin-like finish. But once you clean your hands, go back in with a damp beauty sponge to make sure there's no streaks. See what I mean by smooth skin-like? Avoid foundation under your eyes, save that for concealer. Do make sure your under eyes are hydrated and prepped for concealer. Less is more. Always blend upwards for a lifted look. Tap cream products on the back of your hand to avoid a muddy, unblended look. Also, it just looks airbrushed and flawless. After you're done setting your powders in place, lightly spray your sponge with a hydrating setting mist and go back over. Make sure everything is nice and blended. You also get the benefits from the spray and your makeup is going to look airbrushed.
This is why your under eye does not look like this and it creases. It's because you're not setting before you bake and you're not setting after you bake. So I'm going to show you guys how to set and bake your face properly. The pressed powder that I use is the Maybelline Fit Me one. Make sure you've got enough product. But this is such an important step as it really locks your concealer into place. So make sure to put that everywhere you've put your concealer. It's giving that nice airbrush finish. This is finished, so I'm going to use the S button. When it comes to baking, take your time. When it comes to taking off the powder, you're going to go in with the Fit Me powder and a brush. And this is the final result. This is the full makeup look, and my makeup can stay like this throughout the whole night.
5 products that work best in school air. Can we all agree that this is the best setting spray to exist? It literally melts in your makeup and makes it last all day, all at the same time. Even better than this one. These Rare Beauty blushes will last on your skin all day and all night. The pigment is literally insane. You're gonna be blushing all day long. If you haven't tried the loose powder and the pressed powder method, what are you doing? Set your face with the pressed powder first and then go in with the loose powder on your oily areas. All I have to say is this is literally Gorilla Glue for your face. This will be my wedding foundation. I have so many other recommendations, so let me know if you want a part 2.
Let's put together a beginner-friendly makeup kit at Ulta Beauty. So as I said in my last video, I would highly recommend going to Ulta Beauty as a beginner because you can always return products, exchange things, and just try things out, get samples. It's the perfect place to go to shop for makeup as a beginner. So I'm picking up a cart, of course, because we're going to be getting some things. We're going to be putting some things in the basket, okay? So just as I would when I do my makeup, we're going to start with brows, and I'm picking up the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen in the color Espresso. But if you're more of a brow pencil kind of girl, they also have brow pencils. And to cover up my brows, I always like to use the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Espresso. So now for primer, I love the e.l.f. Power Grip primers. You can either get the blue one or the pink one. Either way, you're good. I also really like the Poreless Putty primers. I always put that on before the grip primer. So I usually like a good matte foundation, but before a matte foundation, I love to go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. It just gives me the perfect radiant like finish. But I did say I like a matte foundation, so for that, I'm going with the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Matte Foundation. For concealers, I really like the e.l.f. Camo Concealers. Either the hydrating or the matte one. You can't go wrong with either one. They're both very amazing. I wear the colors Deep Cinnamon, but I also really like the Juvia's Place concealer, so either way, you will be good. So next for beauty blenders, I really like this e.l.f. Camo Beauty Blender. This is literally just like the regular original beauty blender. So now for bronzer, I really like these Juvia's Place bronzers. Can't go wrong with those. And for blush, these Blush Bombs by Makeup Revolution will never stare you wrong. I love the color Savage Coral. They're perfect for beginners because they're not as pigmented and they're easier to build up. But if you want something more pigmented, the Juvia's Place ones are perfect. Super pigmented and they have some beautiful shades. But if you want a more cheaper option for bronzers, for cream bronzers, these Black Opal ones are really good. They are the OGs, been around for so long. They are a staple. So now for brushes, I would highly recommend a brush set by Real Techniques. Again, I would always recommend Real Technique brushes because they last you forever. Like I've had some of my Real Techniques brushes since I started wearing makeup in high school and I'm 24 years old. So I would always recommend Real Techniques brushes. e.l.f. has some good ones too, but Real Techniques ones are just gonna last you so long and they're professional grade. And then I actually also found this set, which I think this set is perfect. It has like great brushes that you would actually use, and then you could just buy a couple other ones. So for powder, blush, and powder bronzer, I would highly recommend the Juvia's Place bronzers and blushes. They didn't have the bronzers, so I couldn't show y'all, but they're so good. And for lashes, it's always going to be Ardell. Again, they have lashes, they have the lash glue, all of that. I actually forgot to put a lash glue in the kit, but moving on to setting powder, this Maybelline Fit Me is actually a finishing powder, but it works so well as a setting powder, so I would highly recommend that. And then for another option for powder blushes, I chose the Makeup Revolution ones because they're a bit cheaper. They're actually a lot cheaper. And then of course, you're going to want to set your face, whether you want a matte finish or a dewy finish. These NYX setting sprays are really good. They really will lock in your makeup. And then for lip liner and lip gloss, I'm also going with NYX. I love this espresso lip liner. I actually picked one up for myself because it's that good. And then for lip gloss, I chose the NYX Butter Glosses in the clear one and the color Eclair because I love a good pink lip gloss. And these lip glosses are so bomb, y'all. I'm telling you, you need to get these. And that's everything, y'all. Besides the lash glue, which I would actually recommend getting at the beauty supply, I think I got everything. If I forgot anything, please let me know. And also, if you guys want to see a video where I tally up all of the prices of every single one of these products, comment down below and I'll post that. But also let me know if you guys want me to do like different variations of these types of videos. But yeah, that's it, y'all. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Ladies, as a former freelance makeup artist, it's come to my attention that a lot of you do not know how to shade match appropriately. So today I'm going to teach you how to do that. Let's use the queen herself. This is a beautiful example of shade matching to the T. As a makeup artist, we used to use a rule of thirds. So the overall, your foundation color should be the overall color of your body, not of your face. Your foundation should not be like matching your face, because typically our face tends to be lighter than our body. So if you shade match your foundation to just your face color, then you're gonna look like you got a mask on, boo. So you gotta shade match it to your body, right? Your overall color of your body. Next, for your contour color, the perimeter of your face should match the contour of your body. So if you look at where the sun hits your shoulders, and if you look at where the sun hits her shoulders, that darker, that beautiful brown hue, and you look at the contour on her forehead, yeah, that is chemistry, boo. That is science. Like, she has it down to science. The colors match. If she put that contour on her shoulders, I promise you it might like just blend in seamlessly. And next, for the highlight, for your highlight color. Your highlight color should be a color that you pull from your chest, right? If you look deep in her, like right here in her chest, where it's kind of like glowing, you can kind of see like a yellowish tone in the lightest part of her chest. That's the color that you pull for your highlight. And that's how you end up with a cohesive makeup look. So if you look at my makeup, you'll see that like my highlight shade is a color that if I were to put I can't put my eyes in my chest, but you get the point. Let me know if this helps. I hope this didn't confuse anyone, but let me know your thoughts.